Hey, Shalom, Shalom. It's your brother Ratazah Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, I give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechach Chodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect, man. Now, brothers have seen these updates recently. All hell is really breaking loose around the four winds of the earth, man. It's beautiful times. It's beautiful to see the demise of this wicked ass empire, man. And the beast system in particular, you got France on fire right now, and they're trying to get Macron out of the political seat because the tyranny and the austerity measures that they're pushing over there to them French citizens. The civilians over there are not having it, man. They're not going for it no more, and they're out in the streets just going crazy. Basically, they're saying that France is turning bankrupt overnight, and the government is basically imploded on itself, man. And now you got the situation over there in Naples as well, as from last night, when you had basically the citizens storming the White Tower, so to speak. It's total sedition. Against that PM Prime Minister, and that setup over there in Naples, where you can see in this video here, the little playback that I seen, and the citizens stormed the residencies and different prime spots of these different politicians and so-called higher ups in society, just tearing up the city, man. And then basically the PM and his associates had to had to get out of there by way of helicopter. You can see the clip in the beginning of the video where you see people getting swifted off into the air by a helicopter, holding on by a fucking rope for their dear life, man, hoping that they don't drop to their fall to their fate, to their death, and this is beautiful, man. It's showing you that sedition is amongst men, and that the wicked that's been in rulership for all this time is coming to an end, man. Really starting from the so-called white man, so biblically known as the Edomites, because this is his empire that's on the earth that's caused all this terror and tyranny and oppression around the four winds of the earth, where all the nations are mad right now. And these corrupt leaders of these different nations, these shills, these puppet leaders, they're all getting their asses handed to them too, where people want their heads on the stick, man. And it's only going to get worse, man, and it's coming to the shores of America. Now you got seen this situation last night with the so-called assassination of this guy Charles Kirk, or Charlie Kirk, Captain Kirk over there in Utah, supposed to be Trump's ally, so to speak, getting gunned down at a damn gunned down at the Utah speaking event, live in broad daylight, so to speak. And that's gonna lead into what? Civil unrest, because he's supposed to be an ally of this guy King Trump, Caesar Trump, Caesar Nero, and the MAGA people are gonna be already in an uproar. So that's gonna build more tensions, racial tensions between the different peoples over there, especially the Israelites, between Jacob and Esau, the so-called white people going against Jacob, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes of Israel, which are already in a hot blocks right now as we speak, because Trump's already declared war on American citizens, mainly you Israelites of the southern and northern kingdom, man, with his ice raids and so on and so forth. So this is just showing you that tensions are so overwhelming right now, uproars of the people, previous and scriptures in the scripture, precepts in the scriptures that tell you these times are coming, man. Evils are gonna multiply, man, and that we're living in that time right now. As you can see in this clip here, you got the PM and his cabinet team getting lifted off by a helicopter, man, to escape sudden death from their citizens, man. Burning buildings down and all of that. What does the scripture say? When the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. So this is just showing you that the wicked has been in rulership for a long time, and now it's coming to an abrupt end, man. And what did the Lord say? Just by violence should that city, that great city, Babylon the Great, aka America, be thrown down, because it was spawned through violence, by murdering, by stealing and pillaging, colonizing, and that's how it's gonna go out, by violence, man. And the blood got to be cleansed off the land. The Israelite blood that got spilled over there on the shores of North and South and Central America, but mainly North America, has to be cleansed, man. And the only way it's going to be cleansed is by fire. nuclear fire at that, ICBM missiles, man. So this is beautiful time. We're living in a beautiful time in history, man. What a time to be alive, seeing all this unfold, like domino effects. Naples is on fire, France is on fire. America's about to be on fire now because of this so-called assassination of this guy. Which is, straight up psyop, because they're going to use that to increase, order ab chaos scenarios, basically, to cause more tensions between the nations and the tribes. And war is going to commence. Civil unrest is going to commence like never before in America, man. So we got to keep our eyes peeled on the prize. And then also over there in the Middle East, they just had Israel, them gutter rats attack Qatar, man. They just shelled down Qatar, in an attack in America, that's funding these Israelis movement over there, the genocide. They're getting held in as associates, or the problem of the reason why this war's commencing. So it's going to get very dark very quickly, man. And as brothers in this truth, that's why the Lord said, wait ye upon him till we rise up to the prey. We've got to sit back and watch, man, the handiwork of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and see these last major prophecies come to pass, man. But the end is not yet, because, basically the MOT to the B has to be initiated first, around the four winds of the earth, mainly over there in Babylon the Great, before, literally Babylon starts to fall into that, nuclear destruction, that perdition, which is going to be by way of the World War III, the ICBM missiles. So yeah, we're at the door, man. This is just more evidence that this kingdom is falling, and it's a beautiful time. You're going to witness the fall of this wicked ass empire, these Edomites, man, that's on high. Because the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. But now it's time for a transition, man, a transition of power from the wicked to the righteous, which makes up the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with the elect. That's why we need our only begotten Son of Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, with the ignorantly called God, Yahweh Shai, with the ignorantly called JC, to come back to deliver his elect from around the four winds of the earth, and to bring, timely demise, should I say, to the enemies of the nation Israel, our adversaries, man, starting with the Edomites, these so-called white people, man. So this is definitely a time to be watching and praying, man, and keep our eyes on the prize, so to speak. Stay vigilant and diligent and circumspect, man, because shit is just popping off like popcorn, man. These prophecies are definitely not tarrying, and before you know it, they're going to declare the C-HIP technology, the digital ID, is mandatory around the four winds of the earth. And then, before we know it, shortly after that, that's when the missiles are going to start flying, man. So we're really at the door, the end of this thing, man. We're definitely at the end. The end is manifesting right before our eyes, man. So we got to stay on point, stay on the ball, so to speak, stay on the straight and narrow. Yeah, this is beautiful, man. All these things are happening in just the past 48 hours. All these different attacks, and there's more to come. They got more pestilences. Famine's going to be released out here. Pestilence going to be released out here. There's going to be more famines. They just declare that, the UK to prepare for mass, plandemic, another scamdemic that's going to happen over there in the UK. They said that the UK's got to prepare, So this shit is popping off, man, and it's all domino effects of this wicked ass system that's in play, known as the B system, headed by America, Babylon the Great, the whore that sitteth upon many waters. And now the nations are mad, the nations are in uproar, and basically everyone wants to change. This is all happening because everyone basically wants to change in society, man, and it's coming by way of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and his elect. Yeah, so I'm just going to go straight to the scriptures, not make this too long. But yeah, man, just got to keep our eyes on the prize, man, and see what's going to happen with this Captain Kirk situation, and how that's going to spawn the civil war, and these MAGA people are going to start retaliating, who they're going to strike first. And then it's definitely Jake's on the hit list. You tribes are definitely going to be on the hit list, especially with the immigration situation that's going on. They want to blame Jake for the basically downfall of the American economy, and now they're going to start saying that Jakes are taking out their leaders, man. That's for making America great again, so to speak. So war is just going to commence like never before, and the scriptures say it, man. It's going to be a time like never before, the time of the end. Daniel 12:1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up. Michael, the archangel of war, is going to stand up for his people, man, the children of Israel, the elect. It says, the great prince which stands for the children of thy people And there shall be a time of trouble, Jacob's trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, the elect. So everyone that shall be found written in the book, only the elect are going to be delivered. Everyone else outside of that circle is not going to be delivered. They're going to be cashing on timely hell. This is Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So this is showing you that the righteous are definitely not in authority. You got a bunch of scum and rats, scurrying over there in the land of Israel today, acting like they're the chosen of the Lord. They're the righteous, so to speak, and they're the wicked on the earth. They're the seed of the wicked, They're imposters, man, in the Lord's land. They've stolen the Lord's property, and they enslaved his peoples around the four winds of the earth. They've stolen his land, and they defecated and defiled the land. And now, but they're trying to act like they're the righteous, when all they're doing is committing genocide and pillaging and colonizing like they usually do. Should you see that's the spirit of the so-called white man, John 10:10, the thief, man, the thief coming from not but to steal, kill, and to destroy. That's his MO, and that's his spirit. It says, so the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. The righteous are not in authority. It says, but when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. And you've seen that video clip just over there in Naples, the people are in a state of mourning, where they're attacking their leaders now. And the scriptures say that, man, there's going to be sedition amongst men. They're not going to regard their kings nor princes. Politicians are going to have to go into hiding very much soon, man, because all these different governments are imploding upon itself. France is supposed to be one of the 10 toes in Daniel's second chapter, regarding the standing image of Daniel. The EU set up, so to speak, but they're one of the weaker toes, basically, because you can see they're already declared bankruptcy. Even though they're still part of the European Union and all that, their government is imploding itself, it's falling apart. And the rest of these other different EU nations are going to follow suit. And that's why Esau's trying to come with this new world order, man. With this new digital counterfeit system that they're going to use to promote fiat currencies, but digitally, around the four winds of the earth. So everything's going to go digital online, And apparently they cut off all social media over in Nepal. I think they did it in France as well, but they've cut off all social media networks in Nepal and all that, so no one can get, true, footage or real-time footage, man. We've only got what they put out before, the ban was put into place, so to speak, but we haven't got anything up to date, so to speak, other than the videos that you might see on YouTube. But you ain't gonna get no live feeds of what's going on over there in Naples until after the smoke's cleared, until they restore order, so to speak. But they got the National Guard out there, so guaranteed people are getting laid out, man. People are getting shot, they're getting laid out, they're getting killed by their own government, man. And that's coming to the shores of America. Why do you think Trump declared national state of emergency over there in the different states of America, especially where you tribes are at? LA, Chicago, Washington, he's coming for you tribes, man. So that's what's going to be happening when the time of Jacob's trouble. The internet's going to be cut off. There's going to be no network. Social media is going to be banned. Censorship and all of that. And then Esau's going to proceed with the National Guard and the army to, to lay you niggas out. He's already declared war on, you niggas in Chicago. We're talking about you got WAPs and you got spinners and all that shit. You want to go to war with the American army or the National Guard and all that. You niggas over there in Chicago, because you got WAPs and shit like that. You niggas are going to get laid out. You can't fight Esau with his own blessing. Esau's blessing is of the sword. He's the slayer, man. Don't you understand who this devil is, man? He's the harbinger of death. This is what he lives for, man. Spilling of blood, especially you Israelites. So you think he's not going to pet, man? I told you that in Romans 13. He beareth not the sword in vain, man. He loves spilling blood. And he's like I told you in Romans 13, he's a messenger of the Lord on the left-hand side, basically. He's a merchant of war for the Lord, a revenger for the Lord on the left-hand side. So he's going to execute that, his blessing on you tribes, most definitely. King Trump is all for the execution of you Jakes. Capital punishments coming back as well. Beheadings, firing squad, shooting on sight, license to kill and all that. especially when the hell is breaking loose, man. You know, and you need to restore order. So all this order and chaos scenarios is definitely what's on the play right now for the Esau to, accomplish his new world order, man. This is what the prophets of the Lord have been waiting for to see, to unfold. And it's happening right before our eyes, man. The end is manifest. As it tells you in Ezekiel 7 and 5. I might get that real quick. Actually, I might as well just get that. Why not? And actually, yeah, it's Ezekiel 7 and 5. But then I'm going to get Zechariah 1 and 15. It's Ezekiel 7 and 5. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, and evil and only evil is, behold, is come. And end is come. And the end is come. See, the Lord's reiterating it. Why? Because we're at the end. And this is why we keep reiterating the same messages. We have to keep repeating this to our people, and only the elect are going to heed the warnings, because the 2/3 are blinded, dumb, deaf and blind, spiritually dumb, deaf and blind from the neck up. They ain't got the scruples to understand the times that we're living in and the times of judgment that we're living in right now. So they're going to get caught out there. But the elect, the men that saw the watchtowers watching, warning these people, warning the Lord's people, the children of Israel, they're going to see what's going on, and they're going to acknowledge the time that they're living and getting the spirit of repenting and getting themselves right for the great and terrible day of the Lord. Day of judgment, man. It says, watch for thee, behold, it has come. Yeah, we're at the end of this whole thing, man. And all hell is literally going to break loose on a different level in America, man. You see what's going on over there in the Middle East and these different lands, Naples, France. America's going to be 10 times worse, man. Because the Lord's really going to unleash untimely hell over there on the shores of America, man. Because his eyes are upon that sinful kingdom. And he wants to destroy that place vehemently, It says, the morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. What land? America, Babylon the Great. It says, the time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. So the Lord's going to cut America's, lights out, basically. America's done. It's through. The only thing that's going to be left for that place is the nuclear fire after the MOT to the B is initiated, man. Around the forms of the earth. The only thing left for that place is nuclear fire, man. And that's going to be the end all and be all of America's wicked ass empire on this earth. It's going to go out with a bang, literally. So the Lord's about to tear this place up, man. He's tearing his kingdom up bit by bit, and he's leaving the best destruction for last, which is Babylon the Great. Modern day Egypt, man, the land of the north. This is not a joke, man. This is why I've been telling brothers, stressing brothers to get right. And especially if you're over there in the lands of America, man, you got to pray that you're part of the Lord's elect, because only the elect are going to be delivered. 2/3, they're not going to make it off the shores of America, man, by way of the angels and the chariots. Even they're trying to shoot. You got Esau, the American government, trying to shoot down chariots now. So this is it's coming to a boiling point, man. They're actually thinking they're going to be able to fight the Lord and the angels and the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of Israel, man. They're actually trying to attempt to shoot down angels, and they ain't doing shit. All you're doing is, you're not even hitting them. You're hitting them, but it's not doing nothing. There's no effect. They're just playing with the angels. Are just playing with your stupid asses, man, making you think that you got a fighting chance. But that's what the Lord's doing. He's hardening Pharaoh's heart so he can show that power. The modern day Pharaohs, King Trump, Caesar Trump, modern day King of Egypt right now, cruel Lord. He's hardening his heart so he can make him think he's got a fighting chance, so he can destroy him and his armies, man. And the rest of them EU armies, European nation armies, NATO and all that. They're going to be obliterated when the Lord comes back with the chariots, man. So Zechariah 1 and 15. No, it's lucky, it's not 1:15. Maybe a second. Zechariah 1 and 14 says, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly, man. So this is the time where the Lord's about to unleash on so much hell that, the armies of the earth are not going to be able to withstand it, man. The mighty men are going to be crying. So the average citizen, they're going to be on their knees begging, for help. Like it tells you in Jeremiah 30:5, men are going to be holding on to their loins like they're pregnant because of all the pains that's going to be going on in society, man. And knowing they're being able to come to their aid to soothe their pain, so to speak. That's why the Lord said, "Woe unto you that put your trust into Egypt, because you're gonna go down with that bitch, man." This is the great day of the Lord is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. Yeah, they're gonna be destroyed. No one's gonna be able to withstand in the day of the Lord. It says this day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, and a day of clouds and thick darkness. Yeah, that's talking about the nuclear destruction. Yeah, man. So the day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as it tells you in Amos the 5th chapter, man. And so, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, because it's not going to be a great day for the wicked. That's going to be a time of straight up revenge and vengeance of the Lord and judgment upon the 2/3 and the other nations that didn't want to worship Yahweh Shem Yahushai and put his people into captivity.